Music that he made.
Welcome to the Sketch Zone podcast.
And we're live. Welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast. I am Carlos Gomez, and this week we get to talk to the creator of comics to movies, straight from the wonderful lands of Australia, Shaun Paulet. Paulet.
G'day guys, delay there.
No, you're supposed to be clapping right now, and he's just.
Why is he smiling? Oh
I hit it. It didn't go.
no! Are you
I have
serious?
problems already. It's a good way to start.
Story of my life.
Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. Try it again.
Shaun Paulet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And good day, mate.
How did I know you were going to start with that?
I know. Typical American trash.
Next one's going to be that ain't a knife, this is a knife.
No, we already did that with Dave Etsy.
Dude, we did.
Oh, damn.
We already had that conversation. So yeah, Shaun is in Australia, so there's going to be about a 1 second delay, but only because Australia has absolutely horrible internet. Second only to Canada. That's my boy Charlie B. Williams III.
What's up, everyone? Hello. 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 I'm here.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
And I control the board.
Out of all the really cool sound effects, you want the doorbell?
Because I'm inviting. I'm kind of like the nice guy. I'm not the scary black man.
Okay.
The nice one. Yes. So it's more of a.
Come on in.
So it's more of a. Hey, it's okay. I'm here. I don't know where the other octave came from, that last one, because I've never heard it go down that low. But okay, whatever.
And then
Move
that
on.
other guy right there, dude in the middle, in my middle, I should say. That's Jack Casper, Zach.
Yes.
What? I call it a conspiracy. Well, why is that working? Like, you make sure that one worked.
We'll try to make sure that we don't go overboard. Gotta use it sparingly, Charlie. Fingers off the soundboard.
Oh, now I wish I had a soundboard, because that's what I want my intro to be. I'm all like, doorbell. And Jack is like, Jack is like,
That's
Jack is
Charlie,
like
B.
very
Williams.
white.
That's Charlie B. Williams III.
Would you like to buy some cookies?
And I'm here to.
All right, so I wanted to, Jack, I know you got yours, but Charlie, yours, if you haven't got yours, you should be getting it in the next
I
day.
did get mine.
You know what we're talking about?
Yes, and I love it.
Get it? Do you have it, Jack? Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Have it. Come.
I do have this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Charlie got the bag.
Mhm.
So this week, I got the. Yes, there you go. Jack
yes.
and stuff.
It's
Dave
amazing.
When he was on the show, you guys heard him talk about. He did a Kickstarter with his friend Matthew Nichols, and they created a book. Well, he sent this book, and it was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very well done.
It's very, very well done.
Very artsy. It's very cute. Yeah, the story was pretty good. After reading it, I didn't sleep for about 2 weeks, but that's fine.
My daughter won't read it with me. She got. I told my wife I got this book, and then I showed it to her. She's like, "Oh, cool. Tell Ava about it." So I tell my daughter about it, and then I'm forced. I was going to hold and make her wait all day, but then my wife's like, "Don't make her wait. Show it to her now before you leave for work." So I show her, and she's instantly like excited because she likes monsters and stuff like that, and it's cool. And they look through it a little bit, and then they put it away. By the time I get home that night, I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna read the book." I don't want to read it. I've already read it with mommy.
I read it. I read it.
So I've been shunned, but she likes looking at the pictures, but she won't let me read the story to her yet. But she loves it. It's good. It's a great book. It's really well done. Like the quality of it's really good too. Like
I like the pages.
Yeah, they're bright and vibrant.
I like you guys. So that's what happens when you do a successful Kickstarter, right there.
Yeah, I should put you guys on the spot because I know you guys are doing a book for your process projects, right? So how do you guys like that? How you guys like that quality of that paper and everything? You should probably talk to Mr. Dave, and see if it's
very good quality paper, and the printing is quite good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say right there.
I noticed it right away. Like I don't know if it's a different process, but
I was going to point out right there, if you take a look, that ISBN number. Dave, go ahead and get that discount. They chopped it off just a little bit.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
We've got a couple of major printing guys here in Australia.
Really?
And the quality over probably the last 3 to 4 years has really gotten a lot better and everything. So our independent scene, the quality of that has, can even now go on par with the professional side of things, both with comics and books like Dave's.
Yeah, man, I've seen a difference in comic books here in the States. I'm a stickler for I always like the colorists in comic books and the vibrancy of those pages. You can always tell the better ones, but now all of them are starting to not have that dull paper where everything looks muted. Mm-hmm. It's really nice now.
Shaun, down there, these companies that you're talking about, are they doing digital printing or are they doing the 4-color press?
So there's a couple that do both. So we've got Comic Books on Demand that does all the digital printing, and then we've got another one called Jeffries. Myself, I go through a print broker that does all the offset printing, but I print quite a lot of my my comic book series. So, there's printers for each level, which is really good. The 100 to 200 that people want to print. There's the medium printers that will do your 500 to 1,000, and then you've got your big printers that will do all your offset with your really high quality, but you need to do a high volume to kind of print through them and get a decent price.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Do you do? I'm assuming that your company also does posters.
Yes, yeah. So we do use 310 GSM artboard. So with that, it doesn't fade. So you can put it up in direct sunlight and all those type of things. So quality is the one thing that I'm a real stickler on, because if you're asking people to pay a premium price, then I want it to be of the highest quality. So our
podcast is still free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we kind of ours are a little bit more expensive, but we want to make sure that the people are getting the value for their money type of thing. So.
Speaking of which, I know that you guys are probably going to tease me for bringing this up, but over the weekend I was playing Candy Crush. Here we go.
Oh no.
Candy Crush. 26.
Are you still playing?
I'm actually on level. Well, I'm past this level, but a few days ago I was on level 1,211.
Do you know the levels don't matter?
And I was down to I had to break like one jelly, right? And so all I needed was like an extra couple turns, and so I bought gold bars. It's probably the second time.
Oh, Jackie's finally did it.
It's probably the second time that I've ever bought anything for Candy Crush. So then get this. I pay for it, and then it does the transaction, right? And then when I go back to get my extra turns, the app crashes. So, thank you for okay. So, so, so then I was thinking to myself, what the hell? And then again, so I went back in and I started playing, and I got down to like a couple more things, and then I said, screw this. I paid like another $5, and it goes through the transaction, and it gets back to where I was supposed to get my extra turns, and it crashed again.
No!
And yeah, and like all my friends were like,
Why are you crying?
yeah, and then I figured I was like, I'm done buying stuff because I think maybe that's their I don't know if it's a lack of quality or if they're actually doing this on purpose.
I think your phone is messed up.
They might be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I was like,
Or you're
Actually,
not, maybe you're
What are
not-
you doing playing Candy Crush?
Yo, we've been asking that question for like 2 years.
Andy's?
Like, seriously.
You-
Seriously. And you see what he's happening.
How many times did you actually get charged?
Twice, because I charged them. I went through the transaction twice.
$10.
And then what's funny is like Apple doesn't send you the receipt right away. It just like maybe 2-3 days later you get a receipt. Oh hey, here's a bill for $10.
Remember when you spent $10 on a game? It didn't matter?
Oh, dude. So
So
yeah.
it's taking you 2 years almost. Hey, but you finally like given into the microtransaction.
Dude, number one, yes, I finally gave in, but number two, I'm done. That's the last
Are you sure?
in there. Dude,
Hey, where's your phone?
Okay.
Uninstall Candy Crush right now.
no. I'm still going to play Candy Crush. Let's be real. I'm just not going to pay for it. Like,
Don't get any other game like Candy Crush that might work right now on the App Store because it'll be bad for you. Because there's clones like we're in the '80s. Everybody does a Candy Crush clone.
but if you think about it, like I've been playing Candy Crush for a solid at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years, right?
Yeah, it's a year and a half.
And if the only money that I've spent is $10, like I'm getting my money's worth.
$10 too much.
Isn't it free though?
I could have done so much better with my
Yo,
my $10, man.
but you already got your money's worth.
Let's see, 2 years after a savings account, that could have been $12.
That's funny. Like, it's free.
I know, but sometimes it gets tough, and you get tired of playing the same level.
So, it's like excuses that crackheads made. Like, I'm really getting my money's worth.
Right.
Like, it's free. You didn't have to pay for anything. You paid for like a year and a half. Like, that's like free money's worth. It's okay. It's okay. Just hope you don't get tempted again in a couple weeks.
No, I you know what? I think I'm very comfortable in my cheapness. For me, it's a lot more fun to continue to play for free than it is to pass the levels. Sorry, King. Okay, so now let's move on to, over the weekend. Something really monumental happened.
Really?
Yeah, so the Simpsons, who have been around since forever and a day,
Forever.
actually did something very, very cool. They had the first ever live cartoon, and it was 3 minutes long. Did you guys happen to see it? Did you guys see any of the write-ups about it or anything?
I missed it.
I watched it after the fact, not live.
Yeah, me too. I watched it on YouTube. I
My internet's still downloading it.
That's okay. It wouldn't have been live for you anyway. It would have had a minute delay. It wouldn't have been live for you anyway.
I know. So what do you guys think about a live cartoon? Is it just a gimmick?
Sounds like it, but describe it to us. Go ahead, Jack.
I think it is a gimmick, but I think it has it definitely has some use. I mean, could you imagine Space Ghost Coast to Coast like all live? That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because it would be really neat.
No.
Some sort of podcast, or if you would be able to do like maybe Sketch Zone podcast would be the first ever live cartoon podcast ever happening ever.
Wow.
I like this version of Carlos better. Got a better.
Much better looking.
It's got a better setup too, you know.
Yeah, watch this.
Okay.
It's that face you made when you lost your $10.
Sketch Zone podcast, put it in the books, kid. Sketch Zone podcast is the very first live cartoon podcast. Hey, I can also do impressions. You guys want to see?
Yes.
China. We're gonna build a wall around China.
Yo, is that Trump or Johnny Carson? Bring it back. That's awesome. Yes.
China.
Hey, Donald. Donald, I got a question for Donald.
Uh-oh, question.
Your question is stupid. You're stupid. What's your question?
Hey, Donald. This or that.
I've seen this show. I've seen this show on the internet, and I've seen this stupid game. But I'm gonna play this game because you're stupid, and I'm rich.
Tanning oil or taco bowls?
That's not funny. I'm rich.
All right, Don.
Well,
I
Great
have a lot of Mexican friends. They all make tacos.
Some of my best friends are
My
Mexican.
grass.
are they tremendous?
Some of my greatest friends are Mexicans.
Tremendous. All right, well.
That's enough of that. Enough Donald Trump. So yeah, what do you guys think about live cartoons? So what was happening was they had Homer in kind of a situation like this where he was just sitting there, and they had fans of the show call in, and hey, look, Dave Atsy says, awesome.
Is that to prove that they're live?
I think he likes China.
So he did more of a question and answer? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
TD Carlos?
It's like
So they would call in,
Mhm.
and then Homer would then, they had the actor who plays Homer answering the phone calls, and it was pretty cool. And then what was funny was I'm just learning how to work with this thing, so I'm gonna do more stuff to it. But so they would have like Homer was answering the phone call, and like Bart crawled under the desk or crawled behind the desk and stole his pants and all kinds of stuff. It was just really funny to see.
How was the lip syncing and stuff like that? I'm sure they.
The lip syncing was a lot better than mine. Um,
They probably just do more phenoms or whatever. Like, I wish they would do a behind the scenes for it, or maybe Adobe do a special thing on it or something. That'd be cool too.
I know that they did a write-up. Adobe did a write-up, and they had it all breaking down and stuff. And actually, if you guys, there's this guy named Dave Werner on Twitter. He's OK Samurai, OKAY Samurai,
Mhm.
and he breaks things down and kind of shows you. He's on YouTube, but he works for Adobe. But he shows you your way around the application. It's really cool. It's still in beta, so there's a lot of things that they still want to do with it, but so far so good. I remember when they were introducing this to, it was a part of After Effects.
That's what I remember. We looked at it at work, but that was before it was like in its standalone form, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess they just decided they were going to take probably what they're doing is what do you they're building it.
It sounds like they're trying to make themselves relevant again. I think especially here in Australia.
Yeah.
The Simpsons was popular when I was young, but how long has it been going for? Almost 20 years now, isn't it? Like, I think they have to do something to kind of, get people to talk about them again.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, there's no other people that are trying to do stuff like this. I don't know. I'm more defending like the 2D end of things than anything else. But once they get it hammered out with this, I think the next logical step would be to go to 3D. But yeah, I don't know. I don't work for Adobe, so I can't really speak. I think that it was a lot of fun. Now, the cool thing about this is I could technically be recording this right now and then just drop it into After Effects.
Oh, really?
It's saving a lot of steps for animation, and then it's cutting down a lot of time too. So imagine we could throw up some, like I could totally do this with a transparent background and then just take this and throw it in different backgrounds. But yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, besides this and The Simpsons, I don't know. Maybe commercials and stuff.
Do they still have the part where you can track stuff with your camera also? Is that what's doing when you're talking? Is that what's
Yeah. Here, let me drag this over here. Maybe this will probably. So you see those dots on my face?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's using not only my face, like if I do like this.
Okay, yeah.
It's tracking my eyes and everything. But then it's also using my sound. So the sound then gets translated, and then and then the application figures it out and moves. It's kind of in After Effects they have keyframe switching, or symbol switching. I don't know what it would be called, but that's what they're doing. So it's a lot of you build everything in Photoshop, and then there's like special codes that you do on the layer, the name of the layer. And
yeah, I remember that. It's like how you name the layer. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Brockmeyer said Simpsons has been on TV for almost 30 years. Holy crap.
Yeah, I was going to say 20, but yeah, add another 10, I guess, and there you go. Back when Marge sounded like a dude.
That's crazy. So anyway, there you go. Take that, Simpsons.
Very good.
Sketch Zone podcast is right on your tail. My Twitter is blowing up nasty right now.
Go!
And then you could do stuff like this. China.
I can't with that.
I still think it looks like Johnny Carson. Also, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You just need a Tonight Show background, or you need to make his hair fly away.
Another
Like-
thing that I thought was really cool that I saw come out this week was there's this place called Waverly Labs.
Mm-hmm.
Created this wearable technology. It's basically an earpiece you put in, and it listens to the person that you're speaking to, and if they're speaking a different language, like Shaun.
G'day, mate.
Yeah, then this thing in here would translate "Good day, mate," and say,
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
hello.
Now, is this the same technology that they use at the UN and all the other stuff, and it's finally just a commercial version being offered,
You know how the UN does it.
or is that just somebody live?
The UN does it. The way the UN does it is everyone is in the room. The person that's up front is speaking, and then that gets fed into someone who is listening in a different room, and that person is then speaking it to.
Oh, so it's not
So it's
really
like
a phone.
This
Okay.
thing is connected via Bluetooth to your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then the message is sent to your phone, which then translates it, and then the translation then gets sent back up to the earpiece.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah. So next time we talk to Shaun, we'll be able to understand what the hell he's talking about. Like, what the hell is a crikey?
No way. We use too much slang.
That was my first. My first thought. Like, when you go to what is it, like Ireland or whatever, where they speak like really fast and no one can really understand what they're saying, not even the Irish. Like, what is that poor little device going to do with those guys?
Let's say
Yeah, true.
it's English, I guess.
The thing is going to say, shutting down.
Yeah, powering down.
Yeah, so that was the other cool thing that I saw.
Just wait till the nerds get a hold of this, and you'll be able to speak Klingon or Elvish and be translating and everything.
That's a very good point. Like, we're going to need something like this for when we leave the planet.
Heard it here first.
Dude, you're genius. No wonder you started your own company called Comics to Movies.
Not just a pretty face over here.
There it is.
I
All right. It's got the beard going. It's great.
have to check the exchange rate on that one. So, Shaun, you did start Comics to Movies. Can you explain what Comics to Movies is?
Yeah, definitely. I was a fan of, artists and prints myself growing up and going to all the different conventions. The one thing that frustrated me was walking up and down the convention circuit, seeing my favourite artist and him having nothing new. So it was, for them, they can only create so much stuff, sell it, all that type of stuff. So I came up with the idea behind Comics to Movies, which was to get a collection of different artists together, put them both online and in a artist alley table where they could do prints specifically for me, and then they would get a commission out of everything we sold. So this really worked well in two ways. One, because I travel a lot to interstate cons, artists that couldn't travel with families and everything like that were able to get their work out and in front of people in different areas. and two, that helped me, generate and build up a business that we've been able to do different things like sign some actors onto the business, and we're doing prints specifically for them so that they can go. It looks like you've gone to sleep.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
The blink.
It's cold. Oh my God.
Great story, Shaun.
If only you could put in the sound effects of the Z's, that would have been that would have been great.
I might have to incorporate that in the next one.
You were saying?
It's been going for about 4 years now. We started off with 3 different artists and 9 prints. And the last time I counted, I've got about 16 different artists, and we've got over 140 different prints that we sell online and at conventions both in Australia, New Zealand. We've been to America and Paris as well.
Nice. So you're probably going to need that little headset thing soon, huh?
Yeah. So being to Paris is the worst. I don't. I've learnt very basic words, but it's nothing worse than someone excited to see you and they start rambling off something. You're like, yeah.
Totally understand you.
So what was it that made you want to start a company like this? Like, not many people say, you know what, I want to start a company where I can succeed with a group of artists. Most of the time, people say, oh yeah, I want to start an artist community and take advantage of the artists. What made you want to start something that would actually benefit both sides?
It was actually my wife, Lizzie. She's quite a good businesswoman here in Australia. She works for quite a large company here, and we'd been dating for a few years, and she was just like, what do you want to do with your life? And I've always been that person that's kind of floated from one job to another, and the only things I've ever really, really loved are movies and comics. So literally I just sat down one day and went, well, what job could I do that incorporated one or both? And that's how I came up with this idea. I looked for a gap in the market. There was things that helped people get their artwork out there, like DeviantArt and things like that, but it kind of got lost in between the mass of social media, where I've always been quite strong at the selling side of things, so I'm able to take an artist's artwork and really sell it to that next person, and just played on my strengths that way. So it was really good for me because I was able to generate some money, but it's been even better to be able to pass that money back onto the artists and see them go on and create different things. We've had Dave, who's one of our artists, create his book as well. He's done avatars for a large EB Games corporation over here on video games. We've had people do artwork for a TV series over here, and as I said, now we're doing artwork for some celebrities in the US and in Australia. So, I get great joy out of doing it as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. And how do you build the relationships with these artists?
It's that's really changed over time. When I first started, it was quite difficult, and I think it comes from what you said. People were very wary. What's this person trying to do? They're trying to rip me off. They're trying to, not pay me up front. They're saying, I can make this amount of money, but only if I sell a certain amount. So to begin with, it was very, very difficult to try and get artists on board and tell them that this is a worthwhile thing to do, and that I can help them as much as they're helping me. Moving forward, I actually have people come to me now, so it's really changed. I guess I have built my business around integrity. So I'm very aware that people that I deal with, that I'm always upfront, and that when people come to the business, I explain exactly how everything works. It's been great that now I haven't really had to try and find new artists. They really come to me, which is fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that your reputation does become very important when you're dealing with these artists. Artists have a tendency to be super excited to work with anyone that wants to see their art, and then when they get burned, they're surprised that they're burnt, and then they don't want to work for anyone.
Yeah.
Go into like accounting or whatever. So.
And that's the hardest part, to coax them back, and I guess it's really about reassuring them, and especially when it comes to money. If you say you're going to do something on a specific day or something, make sure you do it. There's nothing worse than going, I forgot, or I'm sorry, or can you wait until next week? It's like, these are the 3 conventions I've done. I get home on the Monday after that 3rd convention and go, okay, here are all your payments, type of thing. This is how much you've sold, a breakdown of everything, so that they're really aware of what they made and everything like that.
What are some of the challenges when you're dealing with the creatives, whether it be personality types, or maybe there's like a time issue?
Yeah, it's and the best thing about this is I've got people that do all different types of mediums. So I've got digital artists that purely do digital stuff. I've got a guy from Queensland that does graphite work, and I understand that the time differences between those different guys is quite significant. I can ask Dave to kind of do something for me in a day or so, but if I ask the guy in Queensland, Shane, I need to make sure that I give him 4 to 5 weeks to kind of do that graphite work and everything like that. So it's hard to kind of juggle who you give certain work to. I try to be quite fair in regards to sharing around the work, but then it also depends on their schedule. So sometimes I'll go to someone first and say, will you be able to do this? And they're like, look, I've got my own commissions and I'm backed up with my own stuff. Can you see if someone else can do it? And then I'll move on to the next one and everything. So that's one side of it, and then the flip side of it, like working with some celebrities, they have specific people that they want to have the style like. So then that really limits me. I'm having to go, I need to give it to this person because they want that person to do it. So
Very cool. Charlie, Jack, would you guys ever get into a situation like this?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have gotten involved prior, but nothing on this big of a scale. Working with people across seas and languages is always pretty tough. But this is kind of like the perfect venue for it. I mean, it's kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're sort of you're sort of like curating talent from all over the place, and you're bringing them together for the best project for them. So I mean, it's kind of the most ideal situation for utilizing freelancers, because you're really pinpointing what they're good at, and I mean, it's kind of like commission work, right?
Yeah, so it's the way it works is that I pay for everything. So the convention costs, airfares to get to places, accommodation, insurance. I pay for everything. I pay for the actual costing of the prints, but they don't get paid until I actually sell their artwork.
Right.
So. You know, it kind of works almost like on that commission basis on comic books sometimes, where a store will hold your comic books and sell your comic books, but you only get the money once the comic books are sold in store. So that's how I kind of work. And with ours, they are limited editions. We hand number them all. So that for me is a really good way of being able to show the guys, okay, well, this is what we're numbered up to, this is how many I've sold, all that type of stuff as well. So it's quite clear and transparent that they know how it works.
Yeah, that sounds interesting, because I go to a lot of conventions, and I was sitting here trying to think of how could that work, and I guess for the 3D artist that does prints or something of that nature, or even I guess you can get into, like, even if you want to do like 3D printing and whatever, I guess, because that puts me in the same realms as like a sculptor or someone like that. Then if you're at the comic conventions, or you do the major ones, or you travel to a couple different ones, or even if you come back over here to the stateside and do like the three major ones in the country here, right? Let's say like San Diego comic convention or something like that. I could see that, like, you just almost as like a mobile storefront for artists, if you know, like a mobile gallery, if you will, because you have that presence. You try to get that good booth position at the con, you know, or at whatever convention, and then, you know, the traffic base is based on what people want to buy. So say if you're out there and you do like 3D printing, you have like vinyl figures or something like that, and that might be another venue to go into to get your eyes, get people's eyes on your work. You know, even overseas, if you're doing it in Australia, or you're traveling over to places in Europe, it can be very, very interesting. And then, like, I assume you take a small percentage based off the sale, kind of like a store would, or a gallery or whatever.
Exactly right. So yeah, I take the percentage to cover all the costs, because, as I said, for them there's no upfront costs whatsoever. I take away all of the costs and everything like that, and then they get a percentage out of each item sold. So you know, we started off with prints, but now, you know, we're slowly going to a little bit of the merchandise side of things as well. And, you know, the flip side of that also being that storefront, like you kind of said, we've kind of migrated, because it was quite hard for me to begin with, because I would get a little bit of a pushback going, oh, aren't you the artist? And again, it's about that perception of people ripping off artwork and that type of stuff, and that was really big in the US when I did one of the cons over in the US. They're like, "Oh, you're not the artist, blah blah." But you know, explaining to them how it works, they're like, "Oh, you know," always seem to go, "Oh, that's a good idea." But that first initial reaction is quite hard sometimes to get past.
Mm-hmm.
But now, doing a few of those things, I've even been able to get now the artists that usually wouldn't be able to travel as guests at different conventions, because they've seen the artwork that I've been going around to all the different conventions doing. So that's the other flip side of it. These people might not have never been noticed, and have now been invited to different conventions as a guest, where they don't need to pay to travel or pay for accommodation or whatever they're getting. You know, so that's a really good plus side.
Yeah, I've seen it popped up, I've seen this kind of thing popped up, and not in your way, just a little bit different. Like this year at Chicago's big comic convention, which is run on the back end, it's run by the same people who do San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con. There was a lot more vendors this year that were actual galleries. A lot of local Chicago galleries, and a couple traveling ones. And then, based off of them having relationships with people that are showcasing in their gallery, they had prints and stuff that they were selling on behalf of the artists, but not. But then I even thought like, well, this would be cool on like your level where it's not necessarily a gallery, but for those digital artists, they're not necessarily having their stuff in a run at a gallery where they can say, oh yeah, come down and actually see the original artwork at the gallery, but here's a print if you like a a vinyl print of it or whatever. I think that's a really good idea. It's very interesting. Any artists out there that are looking to do this, it'd be a great way of getting your name out there, in places that you physically can't go. If you can't do the front cost of like being at a con, setting up a booth, getting all those prints printed out, it's a steep hill to climb. Yeah.
Not to mention, at least I know in the States, you have to. There's a lot of the conventions where you almost have to have previous years where you've had tables, otherwise it gets very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it like this, number one, you have buddies that are going to watch the table when you pee. Number two, you're going to have an ongoing relationship through you, Shaun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct. So there's one in New Zealand that pretty much you can't get in unless someone actually doesn't go back type of thing. So it's starting to get a little bit like that here in Australia as well. As well as I think there's a little bit more control around the quality of artwork, and I think that's the next step that we're kind of seeing at these things. Is there, New York Comic Con I know does it that you have to go through an application process to actually get in and be able to exhibit there and everything. So back home we're slowly starting to go through that process as well, but where I'm always trying to think outside the box and innovate a little bit. So, I'm slowly opening up my publishing line because I feel like although prints are really good, that I think they do are going to have a bit of a shelf life considering how much is just out there at the moment. So at the moment, we're looking at some different things like your pop vinyls are a great idea, or 3D figures. We've got my comic book XCT, but we've got two other books that we're going to release this year through my publishing arm. And then the idea of working directly with actors, I think I haven't really seen anyone else do that before. So we've been able to do that successfully with both voice actors. So at the moment we're working with Bryce. Don't ask me to pronounce his last name. Peppercorn. So we're doing artwork for him. We've done artwork for Michael Rooker before. I've got Liam McIntyre, who's Spartacus out of the Star TV series, and then the other thing I've tried to do is do exclusives for conventions and everything. So I was over in Texas early this year, and we did a exclusive comic cover.
Nice.
So that's so that's issue 0 of my comic. So we did an exclusive cover for the convention. We went back and did a bit of a dialogue because now that we've gotten 4 issues out, it's actually we've improved on all of that, and we added an extra page. Went over to the States, did that, and then that was like a quite successful. So
nice. Do you have a web presence also?
Yep, so I've got the website, which is www.comicstomovies.com.au. So that's got all of the, that's pretty much the shop front. It's also got an About Us page, which has got all the different artists' profiles, as well as links back to their own sites. So that's another thing that's really good, that people can find who the different artists are of which prints that we do and everything, as well as it's the shop front for the comic books I sell as well. Then we've got www.xct.com.au, which is purely based on the comic book series, and that gives you more information about the different characters. It's got some fan artwork as well as a Kickstarter page. Because all 4 of our issues have been successfully run through Kickstarter.
Nice.
Very nice. I want to talk about that for a second, but I want to transition into this whole Extreme Champion.
If you go down the bottom for a second, I haven't announced this, so this can be an exclusive for you guys.
Yes.
That very first product there, in the middle, Fury Mode rugby jersey. If you click on that, yep, that one there. This is a rugby, so a football jersey that we've done for Dan Furigel. So he was a actor on the Spartacus TV series called Agron. So he's a big Broncos fan, which is the colour of the jersey. We've designed up his face and Fury Mode, which is a play on his name. It's got Team Fury, because we're designing up a few other ones, and then 81 is his birth year. And then from my side, we've added the logo of the business down the bottom, so people know where you can get them and that. So these are the things that I'm trying to do and think outside the box. And Dave Atsy is actually the one that did the artwork for this. So.
Oh, that's why it looks like that. That looks so cool. Don't tell Dave I said that, though.
I think he's going to hear you.
So when we first started communicating about the podcast and you coming on, oh, hang on, let me get the pretty me up there. When you were talking about coming on the podcast, one of the things that you told me was that you're not much of an artist and that you weren't really sure what we would talk about. Is that a situation where you always wanted to be an artist and that's where you get your fascination? Dave said, I did hear you.
Told you.
Is that where you get your passion for all this creative stuff? Because for someone that doesn't draw, you sure are wrapped up. You've surrounded yourself with a lot of art and creativity.
It's really funny because I never would have said that I'm a creative person. I am more of a problem solver and an analytical person, but for me, from a very young age, my mum couldn't kind of get me to read, and for someone growing up in the 80s, it was very unusual for someone to think outside the box, and my mum got me a comic book to read, and that's how I got into comic books. So I've never really been able to draw, but I've always had a fascination for writing, and growing up with movies like Star Wars, Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, all those type of movies really made me kind of in delve into and enjoy like an expanse universe. I'm a massive fan of the expanded universe with Star Wars. I got all the books and everything like that, and I wanted to know as much as I could about the universe. So the business side came fairly natural to me and everything, but then being surrounded by so many creative people, you can't help but get excited and get your own juices flowing, and I think that's where it's come from. And now, like, it's just a passion of mine. I get really excited talking about it. I'm really passionate about it, and I just want to take this really to the next level and become a household name type of thing. So, yeah.
Did you? So what was it that you wanted to be when you were a kid? When you were a kid, what was it? Let me turn that around. When you were a kid, what was it that you wanted to be when you grew up?
You're all going to laugh at this, but my mum always said that when she went to school, I said that I wanted to be a dad. So, and I'm going to be in September.
Oh,
awesome.
Congratulations. That, to me, I think to myself, this is one little horny kid.
Not in that way. It just
3 years old. I'm like, I don't know, Mom. I don't know what I want to be. I just know I need some frisky playtimes.
I was a bit of a player back in my day. No. My wife is going to see that I'm going to be in trouble for saying that.
Yeah. She's sitting in the back with a bat, just tapping the bat.
If you see me blink, you know why.
So then you said.
No, I kind of I've really enjoyed writing, and I kind of I would have liked to have gone into being an author or something like that. It didn't happen, but you never say never. So the way I kind of write, XCT is kind of like a novel, and then I've got a great mate called Brendan Halliday who really takes my ideas and the way I write and turns it into a comic book script. So that's again someone that I've surrounded myself with that's is able to do what I'm not able to do. I think the best advice I've ever got was find what you're good at and then find out what you're not good at and then get people that around you that are good at what you're not good at. So that's what I've done. If I'm not able to do something and I've found that I'm not able to do something, I'll go out and try and source someone that is able to do that for me until I'm either able to learn it or I don't need that service anymore or whatever.
That's a very business-oriented way of thinking, and the fact that you found a way to become a writer and take that passion and mix it with the art part, it's very, very good. Like, what do you say? Mad props. We say.
Well,
in this.
It's funny with how I got the artist who is an American on board, which is he goes by the name The Franchise or Jerry Gaylord. He's worked on Boom Studios, Fanboys vs. Zombies. And the way I got in touch with him was I was a fan of Fanboys vs. Zombies. I absolutely loved that series. And the artist that I did have planned pulled out. And I was like, I tell you what, I'm just going to email the guy and see if he would be interested. And it just happened to coincide with Fanboys versus Zombies finishing, and him having an open schedule, and he really enjoyed it. It was something very different to what he'd worked on, and I kind of took my fanboy side and was able now to work with someone that I kind of idolized and what I I like, and I think a lot of what I do is what I like, and then I just hope that everyone else likes it as well.
That's very neat. So, as far as Extreme Championship Tournament goes, have you written for that? Is that your property?
Yes.
What's the story behind Extreme Champion Tournament?
Yep, so I'm the creator behind the series. So I wrote the first two issues. As I said, with that, I kind of wrote it like a novel style of thing, and then Brendan's that and turn it into a comic book script. He's gone on to write 2, 3, and he's almost finished with issue 4. So the way that it works, again, everything is paid up front. So I pay Brendan for his services to do the script. Jerry and his wife, I pay for the artwork and inking all up front, and then Wilson Go does the colours on it. I pay him up front. So everything is paid up front, and all the rights are reverted straight to me. So I found that's probably the best way that I've been able to keep control over this series. And with this next one coming out, I might look at trying to pitch it to some of the bigger companies to distribute for me, because that's really the only issue I'm kind of having at the moment. I get great feedback that once people read one, they go back and buy the next one straight away, which is really good. So it's just about getting it into as many people's hands as possible.
All right, nice.
So as far as funding goes, I keep saying so, and I hate that. As far as funding goes, you said earlier that you did a couple Kickstarters.
Yep, so we've done, if you scroll up to the top, we've actually got a Kickstarter page up the top there. Okay. So we did an initial Kickstarter for $5,000, which was to pretty much pay for everything up front. But since then, with issue 1, 2, and 3, we've just done Kickstarters to raise the money for printing. So with that, it's a really great way to keep your fan base involved in the series. So we offer things like creating your own monster, having yourself drawn into the series, everything like that. So that's been really good. Dave's was actually in issue 2, and I killed him quite gruesomely, so that was kind of funny. A lot of the characters in the book are based around people I know. So the guy that runs the XCT tournament, he's actually my father-in-law. Yeah, which is kind of funny. But just a quick synopsis of the story is it's based in the year 2069, where the UFC has evolved back to gladiatorial fighting, and they get around that by cloning different historical figures. So you've got Leonidas out of 300, Spartacus is the main character, you've got Ragnar Lothbrok out of Vikings, you've got dragons, minotaurs, and a whole heap of different mythologies. So it's a really good mix of different cultures, and I think that's one thing I've always been passionate about as well. I have travelled a lot, so the image you just had up there is our main bad guy, which is based on American Indian Apache legend. So all of these characters are actually based on stories or mythology from different cultures. So
that's really
nice.
What was your Sorry, I got wrapped up in the artwork. What was the experience like with Kickstarter? Because everyone thinks, oh, I have this wonderful idea, I'm going to go to Kickstarter, and then all my dreams are going to come true, and just like the coolest cooler, everyone is going to love it. And what was your experience like?
The first one was a steep learning curve. Kickstarter's been around in America a lot longer than Australia. It's only been in Australia for 2 years. So I was one of the first successful Australian Kickstarters, and that was, as I said, a steep learning curve. Just behind how much work went into it day after day for that full 30 days of a campaign. I was nowhere near prepared for how much work was involved with it. I've always had a fairly positive experience with Kickstarter. I use it as a marketing tool. A lot of people use it just for a funding tool. For me, because I've done several Kickstarters, it's more about trying to gain different readers each time I do the Kickstarter, rather than just going back and double dipping or triple dipping, which is what a lot of people ask me, going, well, you're trying to tap the same market. As well as I'm not. I'm trying to get into that other market that might not have seen it last time, or is waiting for the full storyline or something like that. So I use it that way. And as I said, like each time I found that, one, I've got more backers, and two, I've got new backers. So I always get quite a few people that are return backers. But yeah.
Nice. So let's go to Ragnar Lothbrok. Jack and Charlie, have you guys ever watched Vikings on the History Channel?
Yes, that's the guy. What's the main actor's name?
Travis Fimmel.
Yeah, crazy eyes. But no, he's gonna be in a new Warcraft movie.
Dude.
Yes.
And when
he's another Aussie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's such good. I started watching it the first season.
That show.
Yeah.
And his eyes, they go from blue to in
gray. Sometimes it's weird.
Kinda. I
Yeah.
don't know how they do that, but that
call it crazy eyes.
You look at his eyes and you'll be like, someone's gonna die.
Yeah, even when he's smiling, he's his eyes that look like they're gonna kill you. when the happy points in that show is he just kind of gleams at the camera, and it's like, woo. They do a really good job in that.
Now he's hooked on drugs. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Now he's on drugs. He started chewing on some Chinese peyote.
Oh
opium.
No.
Opium.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job with the series. I just have trouble keeping up with those series still, because he's you come back and people are on drugs now.
Yeah.
Other people are dying. There's a couple other good supporting characters in that.
2 words: on demand.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're pretty lucky. He's actually going to be at a convention over here in June. So.
Really?
Yeah. And he doesn't really do them, so he's supposed to be quite a shy bloke, so.
Nice.
Huh.
I thought it was interesting that what channel is that here in the States? Is that History Channel?
History, yeah.
So. Yeah.
It was so interesting to see them do that. They don't for it to be that's full scale production, right? From the History Channel. I always thought that was an odd mix. I was like, okay, maybe they'll do it right to be historically accurate, but
no,
nothing
is historically accurate anymore.
I know, but it's just interesting that it was the History Channel. But then again,
that's one thing that I enjoyed about the comic book series, is that whole idea of not knowing what actually really happened. Whole, was Spartacus really a kick-ass guy, or was he just in the right place at the right time. Was Leonidas this awesome warrior or whatever, or was he at the back of the 300 just going you guys go up there it's serious, and that's what I've really enjoyed about this series. I think people will be surprised that some of the characters are not what they are kind of expecting, because it's my own interpretation or my own idea of what the character is.
Nice. Put Leonidas at the back of the 300 line. He's just the one who goes back and gets spared or something and has to tell the story, but makes sure he sounds awesome.
That's right.
I fought all 50 of them by myself, and I got away.
All right.
Knew it.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
Shaun Paulet, from comics to movies, and I always forget, Extreme Champion Tournament. This or that. Since you are a comic book geek of sorts,
It's pretty good.
Shazam or Captain Planet?
Hey, man. I had the making of a great question. And
Shazam had the lightning bolt on his chest, right? Natural, natural.
Nah, I'm a Captain Planet man all the way.
Attaboy.
I
See?
love heart.
Love.
Heart!
Hard times.
that dude, that was the lamest one out of that group.
Why is
What
it
was his name?
one?
What was his name? Benji? What was his name? Wasn't he
It
like
was a little Mexican dude, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I think it was Indian or something.
Oh, it's Indian.
You know that I think they signed Rock to play Shazam.
He's playing Black Adam.
Black Adam, yeah.
Oh. Boring.
What?
How about Black Panther though?
How about?
Have you guys seen the latest Civil War, Marvel Civil War?
Yes. Yeah, we got that actually down here.
Jack's
Quite
like,
surprising.
Jack's like, nope. Didn't even go see it. Jack.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I'm okay.
All right.
They did a good job, Jack.
I've heard nothing but great things.
Black Panther was pretty dope.
Did you
What?
go back? We'll talk about it later. I was just saying they keep releasing all the different people that are going to be in the Black Panther movie or getting interviewed right now, because it's going to be 90% obviously African American cast in 2018, and like Michael B. Jordan's already signed on. We just don't know what he's going to be playing. And they're talking. What's the other girl? The African girl. She was in Jungle Book also, and
Yeah.
she's been in all the movies for the last 3 or 4 years. Like, she was up for an Oscar or something, or
That little
Lupe or whatever.
whatever.
Oh, Lupita.
Lupita, yeah, her.
I'm not gonna try to say her last name.
Yeah, they're trying to get her in it. And also, the last one before we move on is they're talking about talking to the guy that was just in Star Wars. Finn,
John
Boyega.
Boyega, something like that. Yeah, they're supposedly talking to him. Supposedly a bunch of
All
people.
of our comic book geeks have officially logged off of this podcast. They are.
At least Michael B. Jordan's smart enough to come across to Marvel rather than stay with Fox.
He had no choice though. But though it still was licensed by Marvel, it kind of throws. Let's stop, because I'll start getting into becoming really geeky, because it throws off continuity if they put him as something else in this movie other than.
Well, look at Captain America. He was the first Johnny Storm.
Look at Deadpool. He was Green Lantern.
But he was also Deadpool in the X-Men series.
That's true. He was.
No, that movie doesn't exist. Don't know what you're talking about.
No. But Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool was such a perfect cast job, and I know he's the one that basically funded the film and sold it and everything.
Yeah, the director was the head of Blur.
Yeah.
Blur Studios. Got his first.
What a perfect actor for that character.
It took him 10 years?
Forever. He was like, I gotta keep doing push-ups. Hey Shaun, you're a writer, so Microsoft Word or Apple Pages?
Microsoft Word.
No one uses Apple Pages.
I was gonna be like, no, yeah, they do. Yeah, I use Google Docs. Yeah.
They use it because they don't have internet that day at the coffee shop. Can't log in. They're like, I got this thought. I guess I gotta use Pages until I get Wi-Fi again.
At least Pages is free. I guess I'll use that. Yeah, I know. I was gonna come back at you, but I was like, you're right. I'm not even gonna.
You could have said Notepad.
Not worth it.
Yeah, you could have said Notepad, which they probably would use over Pages. Or maybe WordPad. You know?
How dare you?
I'm sorry. True.
Hey Shaun, would you 4-color printing or would you digital printing?
Say that again.
4-color press printing or digital printing?
I do 4-color.
Right. None of this gliche, glisse, whatever. Trying to make laser jet sound fancy.
Shaun, I don't know how much you've ever listened to the show, but have you ever heard my SMIC story?
No.
So I was working at the TV guide, Spanish TV guide in Chicago, and this girl she kept saying, "Oh yeah, just make sure that you design it and the color format is SMIC." And I was like, "What did you call me?" Like what? She kept saying SMIC, and I was like, "What?" Okay. Finally, I was like, I'm just gonna have to be the dummy, because I didn't. Usually I was like, I'd be like, I'll figure it out. And I finally said, what is SMIC? She goes, cyan, yellow, magenta.
Yeah, art school grad.
I was like, I'm done here.
She's
all right.
It's either SMIC or rugby.
Or what?
Rugby.
Rugby?
RGB. Come on, give
it. Remember that time you were giving them a story?
Yeah. Hey, Shaun, SMIC or rugby?
SMIC.
What did you call me? Did you hear Tyrone sound just now? He said,
that's SMIC.
We are going downhill.
My last one. Shaun Paulet from comics2movies.com.au from Extreme Champion tournament, xct.com.au, this or that, on demand or torrent?
On demand.
Do you really think he's gonna pick the latter?
He lives in Australia. What was it that you were saying? What was it that you were saying before the show? Like, you guys have very little population but very high piracy.
Don't remember that at all. What is that over there? I plead the fifth.
Oh no. I'm sorry. We were talking about Somalia. Wrong.
Oh, really?
No, just
That's where I get my complexion from.
What?
yes.
Oh, so good.
Blame Africa. Thanks, Carlos.
So now that we got to talking about superhero movies, Shaun, what do you think is the worst superhero movie ever created?
Ever created.
You have to say Wolverine Origins. Like, that was just horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one where he was like cutting down logs and his girlfriend got killed and he's just like, "Where's my sandwich?"
Yeah, and the animation or the 3D animation or whatever in that was just woeful. You could tell, like, when the logs were coming off that they were fake, and that it was just horrible, absolutely horrible. Down at the very end where the thing's crumbling, the power plant, it's just like, seriously, man, whoever passed that through should be, hung and quartered, dead set. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Tell me how you really feel.
I actually worked very closely with that director. He's a really nice guy. But it's like walking on eggshells because everybody knew that was like.
Shaun,
Just
not only is this the first live cartoon podcast, but this is the first time the guest left.
No, let's be honest, though.
no, I mean it was a terrible movie. I'm not.
It was a terrible movie, but like at the end of the day, with Wolverine, and if you read Wolverine comic books, if you read the comics, I personally hated when they went into the origin stories of Wolverine, or when he's like in the middle of nowhere in Canada, feeling all weird and sorry for himself. Yeah. I don't know.
I agree. I tend to think origin stories in general kind of ruin everything. I mean, there's a few exceptions here and there, but it's like it just kind of takes away all the mystery and the imagination from what, like when they did that origin story of what's that serial killer movie, the like horror thing?
Was it
Bates Motel?
No.
Wasn't the Jason movies, were you?
It was that genre of movies, not Jason, but it was the
Freddy? Friday 13th? Or help me out, Carlos. Friday 13th.
Halloween.
Halloween to Jason, yeah.
Was that Jason? Yeah, they did like the origin story with like how he got
Mike Myers.
Yeah, how he like, got abused by all his parents and stuff, and I was just like, this is just killing everything.
Because it's like you start to feel sorry for him. And then
But that's like such a trend. It's like we don't know what else to do, so we're gonna go and do the origin story behind this character.
Yeah, the Wolverines are always like that in terms of like, even when he's off by himself and he's like trying to be a loner, he's on the stupid motorcycle, like where he goes over to China, he's trying to be a samurai. Like, I remember the books and like they bored me. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Japan. Sorry, Japan, not China. But like, he might have ended up there at one point too.
You say
Orenichi, yeah, and all this, Orenichi, or whatever his name.
China?
Someone in China. Donald's back.
It just got contrived, and I just never liked it. No, I didn't think it made for a good movie anyway. You know, it just I think that movie had too much backstory to try to fit into 2 hours anyway. So, you know,
I think all of them do. I'm very nervous.
It's really
Yet
interesting.
another. I'm very nervous for yet another origin story for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
you know, they'd be better if they just pick it up from where
Yeah.
I would say where they left off in Civil War. Like if they just pick it up like, you know, 2 months later, right? And you just jump into it. Like we know who Spider-Man is. Just jump into it and go whatever happens in the movie. You know, like don't tell me how he got his powers. Don't.
Everyone knows we've seen
Yeah.
about 47 of those damn Sony movies. Let it go.
And he's already explained it in Civil War as well. He's explained it in Civil War, so that's
Yeah,
enough.
really quick. Yeah, and Tony Stark always explains stuff in like 30 seconds, which is perfect. You know, he shows a videotape. I've been watching. You've been great. You're good. Whatever. Let's move on. You know, like it's that's what they should just
Well,
do.
you know
Just-
what they could do too is they pick it up 2 months later, but then when they go to take a look at the origin story, maybe they do like Snatch did. Everything was like jump cuts, real fast. Like there's a spider, there's a bite, and then he's like Super Spider-Man now.
Yeah, like
I do like how no one comments on a grown man, like videotaping a 15-year-old boy and watching videos of him. But anyway,
oh, he's doing research.
they do call him Iron Man.
That was well played,
so
sir.
Yeah,
Well
well
played.
No.
Although they got everything else right about him, I loved how they showed off their strength. His strength. That was great.
Yeah, I love how they had him talking and he wouldn't shut up. He was just excited to be there, and he kept talking and talking and talking. And even someone, I think it was War Machine, was like, "Does this thing ever turn off?"
Yeah. I think Falcon said that too. You're not supposed to talk during a fight. You know that, right? No, but yeah, the show of power was really good there. I think I watched something else, not on the movies, but about the guy who plays Thor. What's his name? I'm bad with movie star names nowadays.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, they were talking to him, the director, and a couple other people. And I think he had a crazy thing on Instagram or something because people were wondering where Thor and like the Hulk was. And I was like, you can't have those movies, those two in the Civil War, and put them on different sides. People would die. You know, like heroes would die. You know, so because they're just too big, that's why they kept them out.
And Thor would just smash him.
Although the future looks good with those things though, because we had another Guardians movie coming out. It opens up the whole notion of space. You know, Thor's somewhere off with Hulk. You know, in the Thor movie, I think the Hulk's supposed to be in the next Thor movie, so he's somewhere in outer space, just being badass. You know.
Who is Thor or Hulk?
Both. I think it's back on Thor's. I think what it was is like the Hulk is with Thor. I think I think it's supposed to be the thing. Like, and he's supposed to be there.
It's going to be Ragnarok, which is
Ragnarok,
like the ending. Yeah, the ending of their civilization. So I don't know whether they're getting the Hulk or got the Hulk to help or how they're going to tie that into the storyline. But that's kind of, I guess, cool that he's going to be there. A lot of action and.
It's a pretty big storyline. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do that one. Like, I was hoping they didn't go that route with it, but makes sense, I guess, because they'll tie in the Infinity Stones, which maybe we'll get a Planet Hulk like type movie after this, right? Because he's already.
I would love that.
He's already in space. Send him somewhere else so he can get smart, and the Hulk can be like the smart version, you know, of the Hulk, and not the insanely like. You know, over testosterone version. I want the one where he can think.
Mr. Great.
Yeah, where he can just think for himself and be like analytical. You know, it would be huge. Should be interesting. I can talk about this all day. Stop me.
Well, from what I hear, Sean can too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big movie buff. I've got about 10,000 DVDs in my collection, all original DVD or Blu-ray. So yeah, I'm a massive fan. Everything from TV series to documentaries and stuff like that. I've got a few of the History Channel ones on different civilizations and that type of stuff as well. So all market down to product research, tax deductible.
Where do you keep them? Where are you storing all these? Or do you have a bunch of boxes off camera?
I have I literally my computer room is my junk room, my wife calls it. So my laptop is actually on the dining room table because you can't move in my junk room.
Nice.
But we can go for a little bit of a tour if you want.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We can.
And on this episode of Orders, we look at DVD.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, we're cutting this podcast short if you start eating the inside of your couch.
Carlos, put him on the system.
It's nice and dark in here because this is where I do most of my work.
In the dark.
But I've got my statues of my XCT, so that's a Spartacus and everything like that. So a 3D sculptor's done that. Then behind me is my wall of DVDs. So, and they are double faced, so there's DVDs behind DVDs. And then
you have time.
these are my comic books.
There it is. There's the comic book statue. The books are all in cover.
Then I've got movie posters.
Oh man,
Jeepers.
My personal collection of movie books and everything like
Check out
that.
the closet.
Toys.
the closet has more books, comic books. So like
Comic books,
boxes.
toys. So, yeah.
Do you remember how when Dave was on the podcast, we were talking about how Australians were on vacation and Chicago folks were going to run in and break in, and I think I know where we start.
Make a really long flight.
This is my favorite cabinet. This is my my Gambit cabinet. So I've got.
Are you a Gambit fan? Okay.
Massive. Even my dog, he's going to probably come running in here in a second because I said Gambit and his name's Gambit.
Oh.
So, but I've got the premium format, my Star Wars lightsaber, and then we've got the original day bills.
Nice.
All nice and framed. And then my prized possession is this over here, which is signed by...
By the way, she's going to be mad.
A little dark.
Jim Leonard. It's the covers of the X-Men books.
Turn the light on, Sean.
We need some light.
Where is the light?
Find your cell phone at it or something.
No.
Great.
My prized possession is black.
Everything now.
Yeah, we don't see anything. But that's okay. We can imagine.
Oh, that sucks. But it's the #1 covers, all four in a limited edition print by Jim Lee, Stan Lee, Chris Claremont, the 1991 covers. So,
Nice.
but yeah. So that's the tour.
Sean, just so we know, what time is it there?
It's 3:40 here.
Friday Arvo.
Friday Arvo, mate. That's it.
Oh, no.
I'm brushing up. I'm about
There
to.
you go.
We're gonna go have some meat pies and some dead horse at the footy later.
Whoa, there it is.
I'm gonna have a pint.
Dead horse and tomato sauce or ketchup.
I'm gonna have a pint while you throw another shrimp on the barbie. I apologize. We had to apologize, Dave, as well.
Just blame it on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We know that that's dumb as hell, but
See, we're surrounded by water. You don't need to build a wall around us.
nature took care of that for us.
Nice. They were still supposed to be, Sean. They were supposed to be doing a Gambit movie. If you're such a big fan.
Yeah, I actually just posted something up about that the other day. Channing Tatum, it sounds like he can't get the Cajun accent down pat. So they postponed it to give him some more time to work on that. They did say it was script issues, but my understanding is that he's having a little bit of trouble with the accent. So, which I'm kind of happy with. I prefer that they get that down pat and that he actually sounds like the character he's supposed to play. So,
or to go find someone that can do the accent, because we don't really need it to be a superstar at this point. You just need to
I know,
be
but
like
he's so
moving.
good looking.
Wait a minute, doesn't he live in?
Yeah.
Does he live? He lives in New
Yeah.
Orleans, right? Like that's where he lives, and he's been there for like years before this movie.
I think so.
But Cajun's like a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, but like you don't know where to go to get reference, and like you're deep in the bayou down there. Like you should be able to pull out muster out like I don't know.
The guy out of
That's true,
True
though.
Blood in season 1 did it really well.
Yes. I think I saw some. Yeah, like there was another forum on like Ain't It News or one of the other comic book sites. They were having a list of a bunch of other people that could play it based on how good their Cajun accent was. Like, or
Because he
if
was
it's a little
really
French-
good.
Yeah, even if it's a little French in there, more so, I would think than just a straight Cajun, like French, whatever Creole typeness to it could be cool too. Or they find the voice actor from the '90s cartoon, whoever that is.
That's it.
Let's have them lip sync it.
Last time I introduced myself, my name Ramon.
My name Raymond.
Keep working, Channing.
Sean, where are we going with this? You built a really cool little niche here. What's the future hold for you?
So this year, for the next 5 weeks, we've got conventions pretty much in every state back here in Australia. So short term, we're going to release a brand new graphic novel called Dead Man's Land. This is written by Barry Duffield, who played Lugo out of the Spartacus TV series. So we're going to do a exclusive edition of that printed through us. He's also got another series that we've picked up called Tandoori Apocalypse, which is a kind of Shaun of the Dead with Indian characters type of thing. So it's quite a funny, comical type of apocalyptic movie or comic book series, sorry. Then I've got the latest issue of XCT coming out later in the year, and that will be the first story arc of this series. And then we're collating or collaborating with 10 different artists and 10 different writers to do a graphic novel on XCT, and that will open up the universe quite quickly. Moving forward from there, we've got a few other things in development. We're looking at maybe getting it distributed by one of the bigger companies in America to get that worldwide distribution, and then we're going to build on the comics to movies with more artists, and we're going to probably do our first gallery show later in the year or early next year. World domination.
I like it. Pink in the brain style. Okay. I thought it was a delay. It wasn't. It was a horrible joke.
Yeah. Jack didn't even give you crickets. He just let it ride. Which is even worse than crickets.
My mum said if I couldn't say something nice, not to say something at all.
Yeah.
Hoping for a chuckle or something in there.
I was staring at Jack the whole time. He's like, nope, I'm going to let it ride.
Fuck.
Love it. I was about to click it just out of nervousness.
Yeah, at least I get a sympathy move, like moving on giggle. Like that was like nothing. Dude, what's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he gets eaten up by the bear? Oh, I was alone and afraid.
Jack is like, no, he has to learn. He has to learn this is not funny. Silence will teach him. I'm sorry.
All right, that's a good note to wrap this thing up. So Shaun Paulet, if people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
So a website is www.comicstomovies.com.au. Twitter is at comics_2_movies. Or on Facebook is Comics to Movies as well. And then with the comic book, it's just www.xct.com.au, and on Twitter at xctcomic. And if you're an artist or out there and want to find out more information about it, just shoot me through an email. All the contact details are on the site. You can have a look at what we do, and be more than happy to get back to anyone and give anyone else a hand if they want to.
Awesome. Thank you, sir, for being on the show. Quick little shout out to our friend Justin from Blacklist Watches. He says, great podcast and loving the new Carlos. What the? What the? Oh, boy. And Charlie is on not mute. Charlie Williams, if people were looking for you.
Well, you can find me at my site, which is cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. Find me on Twitter at CharlieBW3 and Instagram CharlieBW3, and go get some Pinterest in your life. Check me out there on Pinterest, all that good stuff. CharlieBW3.
I'm looking forward to pinning you.
Pin it. It'll change your life. Just go over there and look at it. Seriously. There's a lot of good stuff there to inspire you. Yo, for sure don't go for it for that. For sure.
And Sketchbook Jack. I mean, Jack Kasperzak, if people are looking for you, reckon.
I am at sketchbookjack.com and Sketchbook Jack on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. Is that? Yeah, all those.
DeviantArt.
And it's about that time, folks. We still have going on.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's right, folks. We still have the drawing for the Sketch Wallet. If you draw anything, put it on Instagram or Twitter and tag at Coconut Justice at Sketch Wallet. Hashtag SketchZone. You will be entered into the drawing to win this Sketch Wallet. That's pretty much it. And the song is a lot longer than my speech. Oh yeah, it comes with a sticker. It comes with a little pencil.
Give me the proverbial credits as you say that over your thing.
You won't be entered. You won't win. You know who wants it? You know who's entered in a sketch wallet? Dave Atsey. You know why? Because he drew something. He pays attention to the rules. He drew something, and then he said, hey, let me go ahead and tag at Coconut Justice, at Sketch Wallet, hashtag Sketch Zone. And then what happens is he gets really good art, and he gets this book out there, and that's right, folks. If you draw on the Sketch Wallet, you will almost be guaranteed to be successful on Kickstarter. That's almost. Yeah, so I am Carlos Gomez. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Behance under the name Coconut Justice. This has been the Sketch Zone podcast. You can find us at sketch.zone. You could suggest a guest if you'd like. Go to sketch.zone/guest. Fill out the form. We'll be here for you. We will listen. We will reach out to whomever it is that you want us to reach out to, because we're here to. We're here to for you.
It's like a bad PBS commercial. No!
By the way, if you're on Twitter, go ahead and reach out to us at SketchZone. We'll be there for you too. And hey, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and give us a like. Facebook.com/TheSketchZone.
We're there for you.
We're everywhere. By the way, if you're surfing around the YouTube channels, go ahead and stop by ours, youtube.com/SketchZone Podcast. That's how we go. Oh yeah, just in case you're not on the computer, go ahead and find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, even on iTunes. Hey, and if you're going to be kind enough to take about 10-15 seconds to leave us a review on iTunes, we're going to return the favor by reading your review on the air. That way, 2 or 3 of our closest friends will be able to read what you said. That's it for us.
He wasn't.
That's it, everyone. Go out there, be nice to each other.
Sessions of poetry reading by Carlos.
Have a wonderful week.
It's not at all while thinking. Carlos, poetry.
Someone's got something ongoing.